Okay, so an absolute value function is a function that has an absolute value in it, okay? To graph, you need to find the vertex. We need to make a table. The table should have enough points in it that you get a good idea the direction that the absolute value is going in. The other thing you need to know is that the absolute value, when you go to graph it, is going to look like a V. Okay, so you're going to have two lines. You have a vertex and you have a line going this way and a line going this way. Okay, so example 1. We're going to graph y equals the absolute value of x plus 1. So we're going to plug in, so we're going to find the vertex. To find the vertex, so today is the most basic of things, okay? So when I tell you this isn't always how you find the vertex, but is the number in front of x 1? That's the first thing, okay? So this only works when the number in front of x is 1, okay? So the number in front of x is 1. What's being added to x inside the absolute value? Only inside the absolute value. What's being added to x or subtracted? 0. So that is our x value of our vertex. And now outside. What's being added or subtracted outside? Okay. So that's our vertex. So now remember, that only works when the number in front of x is 1. Tomorrow we'll talk about what happens when the number in front of x is not 1. Now let's make a graph. Okay. So we're going to make a graph. And we're going to graph that vertex. Now, you guys, unlike the piecewise, the vertex actually lies on the line, on the absolute value, on the function. So we're going to go to 0, 1. Everything is going to be closed. And now we're going to pick some x's, and we're going to pick some y's. Depending on your graph, you guys, depends on how far you can go out. So my graph is pretty nice. So I'm going to start with -5, and then I'm just going to skip, and I'm going to do all odd numbers. I always pick 1, 1, 3, 5. If you can go out this far, that's ideal. So now, where did I get those numbers? I just picked them. I just made them up, okay? I picked some to the left of the vertex, and I picked some to the right of the vertex. That's all I did. You can make them up, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take -5, and I'm going to plug it into this equation. So, to get what y is. So what is the absolute value of -5? 5 plus 1 is, now that's one ordered pair. Now I'm going to plug in 3 in for the absolute value. What's the absolute value of -3? 3 plus 1 is, the absolute value of -1? 1 plus 1? The absolute value of 0? 0 plus 1 is, that one should look familiar. The absolute value of 1 is +1. +1 plus 1. So see the x's? I picked the x values. I just picked them. And now I'm taking them and I'm putting them into this equation. I picked some numbers to the left of the vertex, and I picked some numbers to the right of the vertex. Just random. Okay, now I'm going to plug in 3. What is the absolute value of 3? +3. 3 plus 1 is? The absolute value of 5? +5. 5 plus 1 is 6. You guys, it is a good idea, especially with absolute value, that you have 3 on one side and 3 on the other side, just because it gives you a good, clear vision of how we're going to graph this. Okay, so we're going to go over to -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to go up to +6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I'm going to graph the next one. I'm going to go over to -3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to go up to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Over to -1, up to 2, 1, 2. 0, 1, I already got that one graphed. Now, it should start looking like a mirror image, okay? So 1, 2, so I'm going to go over to 1, up to 2. 1, 2, 3, up to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can you guys see that V shape?
Yeah.
That's what it should look like. You're going to connect your points. And that's my absolute value graph. We only have to do one more thing. What do you think we have to do? So here's my question. Thinking about the x-axis, this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. Let's think about the x-axis. Basically, what can my x be? Do I have a limitation on what x can be, or can I plug in any number into the equation?
Any number.
Any number? So that means my domain is now, so that means, and you guys, most absolute value equations are going to always be all real numbers because it's going to take any value of any x coordinate. Okay, now range. What do you notice about the ranges on an absolute value equation?
They're dependent on the x.
They are, but what else do you notice? If you're looking at the graph, what do you notice about all the ranges? Kat?
It's all round numbers above.
So yes, what? They're all positive. Yes, so they're all above 1. They're all positive. Yes.
I just have a question. So, like, if this can get a quiz, are you gonna like give us the numbers and graph it?
No.
So how do you know if you got it like right or not? If everything is different, right? So it's just random numbers.
Yeah, because you can pick anything. There's nothing wrong. You just have to pick some positives and you got to pick some negatives. Hold on a second. Let me finish the range and then I can answer that question. So on this one, it's going to be y such that y is what? Greater than or equal to 1. And the reason that is because 1 is our lowest range, and then all the ranges, all the y's just become positive.